doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States?
For me. Where? I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says...
I don't know if that's constitutional.
Due process. Must you have due...
Let that sink in. A sitting president, and when asked if he needs to uphold the Constitution, said, "I don't know," not once, but repeatedly. And the right still claims he's tough on law? Let's break this down. This was not a gaffe. It was a moment of raw exposure. Trump didn't just fumble a tough policy question. He openly shrugged at the Constitution. Welcome back to the channel that cuts through the chaos. Hit that subscribe button if you're tired of spin and ready for the facts. The spark? Trump was being pressed again on his aggressive immigration crackdown and a controversial deportation plan. Over the weekend, reporters grilled him. Do migrants deserve due process? Does he have to follow the Constitution? This wasn't a hidden camera moment. It was a public, on-the-record interview. They asked point blank,
It's constitutional.
Don't you need to uphold
and Trump's answer,
the United States as president?
chillingly casual. The silence that followed was deafening. He didn't even attempt to pivot or explain, just a blank refusal to commit to the very foundation of American law, the Constitution. It lit a firestorm across newsrooms, legal panels, and even within conservative circles. Trump's defenders jumped into damage control. Republican strategist Brad Todd tried to spin it.
Because he was asked multiple times about this.
Well, he said he's going to do what the court said. He said he's going to follow what the Supreme Court said, and that is what
But
all
is that
his
like
critics...
an obvious answer, the yes or no?
No, wait a minute. All his critics have said for months, oh, he's an authoritarian, he's going to abolish the Supreme Court, he's going to not hold elections. Like, he's appealing decisions up the chain as they come. He says he's going to follow the Supreme Court's directives. Yeah. This is what his critics want him to say. They should exceed and give him credit for that.
Give him credit for saying he'll maybe listen to the courts, while also saying he doesn't know if he has to follow the Constitution. Todd tried again.
He's going to not hold elections. Like, he's appealing decisions up the chain as they come. He says he's going to follow the Supreme Court's directives.
But this wasn't a procedural squabble about legal appeals. This was a president being asked if he believes in the core structure of American governance, and saying,
I don't know.
Even CNN's Carrie Champion had to remind the panel.
Credit for that?
Well, he did swear an oath about 3 months ago to uphold the Constitution.
Trump's "I don't know" wasn't just a verbal tick, it became a pattern. He was asked if the Declaration of Independence meant anything to him. According to expert Michael Genovese,
What it means to him, and Donald Trump fumbled and mumbled and finally said it means it's a declaration. And then he said, it's a declaration of love. Well, it's a declaration of...
Let that sink in. The Declaration of Independence. A document literally declaring war for freedom, and he called it
It's a declaration of love.
And then on upholding due process for migrants.
I don't know.
Do citizens and non-citizens deserve due process?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
And the Constitution.
I don't know.
CNN's panel didn't miss a beat. Carrie Champion noted,
political method to keep everyone confused.
But you were noting that he acts like it's a choice.
Yeah, well, it's obviously not a choice to uphold the... Like, on the question of...
In other words, Trump knows what he's doing. The "I don't know" strategy, it's not confusion, it's calculated ambiguity, dodge responsibility, avoid legal exposure, and play both sides. And that Garcia deportation case, Trump's team keeps referencing it, claiming the courts allow him to deport. But as Steven said, yet Trump's already acting like it gives him a green light. Convenient. And when critics say he's ignoring constitutional boundaries, his defenders literally argue they want applause for not openly breaking the law, while the president of the United States shrugs at his obligation to follow it. If you thought the "I don't know" train stopped at one interview, think again. Trump doubled down across multiple platforms, and every time the question of constitutional obligation came up, he dodged like his political life depended on it. Here's the bombshell. Trump wasn't accidentally unsure. It was part of a pattern. Michael Genovese, president of the Global Policy Institute, didn't sugarcoat it. Genovese didn't stop there. Think about that. The Constitution isn't an obscure policy clause. It's the job description of the presidency. And Trump's fumbling, it's not confusion, it's strategy. Genovese laid it bare. His isn't just about policy, it's about power. The president is either upholding democracy or undermining it. There's no middle ground, but Trump's strategy strategy is clear. Say just enough to avoid indictment, but never enough to be pinned down. So where does that leave us? A sitting president who took an oath to uphold the Constitution, now publicly suggesting he might not. The panel on CNN saw right through the act. They laid it out clean. Carrie Champion made the point loud and clear.
Method to keep everyone
But
confused.
you were noting that he acts like it's a choice.
Yeah, well, it's obviously not a choice to uphold the like.
Stephen Collinson added the hammer. Even Brad Todd, a Republican strategist doing his best to defend, was forced to admit that
Opposition to Trump. In Canada, for example, they just had a national election in which the Liberal candidate, who was way behind, ran.
they know it. We know it. This is a man who thrives on uncertainty, who uses confusion as cover. Meanwhile, Trump downplays global backlash, dismisses economic warnings, and when asked about a looming recession, he compares himself to the captain of the Titanic. As one guest bluntly said, let that image settle in. In Canada, Australia, and Mexico, leaders ran against Trump's brand and won. His policies aren't just damaging domestically, they're isolating America on the world stage. And his defenders, they want credit for him maybe following court rulings. This is where we are. If you're tired of the gaslighting, if you believe that the Constitution isn't optional, hit subscribe and share this video. The truth needs to travel faster than the spin. Stay loud, stay informed.